Well, apparently, from what it's telling me, I am live. So I'm gonna give some people a chance to come in. I actually trying to communicate this, which I have no expectations whether that's going to do anything for me. But the live thing is always a good time. So yesterday, by the way, no one's here yet, but for those that are watching it later, the whole thing's going to be about the not the whole thing, the eclipse. The eclipse was such a cool experience for me. I had a really neat experience with the meditation aspect. Wanted to share it with people, and then outside of that, I was going to do live Q&A and see what happens. It's always fun. You never know what people are going to ask, and that does make it exciting on that regard. I'm trying to figure out how to do this to verify on my phone, but it's there we go. Bam, there it is. Okay, now I feel like a couple people there. Hey, how's everyone go? Why can't I see? Hang on, let me figure out how to get my chat showing in here. It's not cool. Live, yes. Chat groups. I'm trying to figure this out. All right, we'll go the different way. So, yeah, the eclipse, guys. By the way, was really cool. A whole bunch of people coming in. Cool, love it. And I'm trying to figure out why I can't see my chat. So give me a sec, guys. I'm having a little moment with that issue. We're working on it on the fly, and we'll see if I can figure it out. Hopefully, I can. They changed it. How do we get the classic view back? Daggum you, YouTube. All right, a lot of people coming in. Cool. We're going to talk about the eclipse, the cool experience I had with it. Trying to figure out how to get my comments so I can actually see what's going on in the video. Oh, there's stuff going on over here. Cool. I guess I can just talk to it. That works. A lot of people. Good morning, Capital Growth. We got. I know, right? I'm having issues. Whoever I is. Stacy, hello. Yummy, fantabulous. Live, love, laugh. Good morning from Ottawa. Good morning back to you from SoCal. Good times. Yeah, we're crazy ladies. Nice. All right, well, that'll work, I guess. I guess that's how I'm going to do it, is I'll just use that, and I'll just figure out what this all means to me in the big picture later on. We got some research. Got homework. Okay, so the eclipse. Gonna get into it. Got 14 of you on there, whatever. That's good enough for me right now. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so the eclipse, for those of you that were really into it or tried to make a difference or got up there or actually a part of it, it was kind of cool. I went out and I saw it first off. It was over the United States, so it was fully done. It was red. It was but I saw the last little sliver of it go from white to red, and that was, I don't know, 10 minutes or so before the meditation was supposed to start. I didn't use the one that's linked. It's one that I definitely quote approve, if you will. But I kind of just do my own thing. It's all about just comfort, what you're doing, your intentions. But you're with a lot of people sending the same kind of vibe, same kind of energy. Maybe putting your spin on it, but it's close enough. And for all intents and purposes, it actually works really well together, I think. So. One of the things that really hit me that was cool. One, I felt the connection. It felt like there was a lot of people. So I know the numbers haven't come back in yet from at least the source that I kind of organizes this. It should be huge. We wanted 144,000. I guarantee we broke 1 million. So we're way past that. In fact, this one probably was bigger than the last. So I'll let you guys know. Just on a happenstance thing. But one of the other things that was really cool, aside from the connection, is there was literally a place where I felt a shift. Like it felt like literally, this is what it felt like to me. It felt like my house went down like an inch. Like that's what it felt like. It literally felt like everything in my house just like I dropped down. Like it was like it moved. It was weird. It was the coolest experience. It was very profound. So whatever happened, I think was pretty crazy. And God, how am I going to type in this? So I just realized all of a sudden I'm having an issue if I'm going to try to comment back. I guess we're just going to straight up talk to any questions you guys have, because I did say that was going to be a part of it. So we're going to go through some of these. And unfortunately, like I said, I'm having issues on the actual computer where I'm doing this recording. But okay. So to the Q&A. I mean, if anyone's got any questions about the eclipse and my thoughts or whatever and how that experience was, and if not, listen to the recording. I tried to get it in there early. It was just, for me, it was profound. It was way different, significantly different than the last one to me, the way I felt it, the way I perceived it, the way I experienced it. And this one was real. Like I literally felt the shift. Like we shifted and from what I could tell time wise, from the 9/11 from my standpoint, but the time when everyone was doing it, it was probably 4 minutes or so into it, 4 or 5 minutes into it. And then it was, a bit further. I went down and it was some other groovy stuff, but that was it was weird. Like it literally I felt like an earthquake, because that earthquake, for those of you that have ever been in an earthquake, there's a jolt sometimes, right? That initial, right? And then, oh, that's exactly what it felt like. So I was like, earthquake right now? That would be, not a surprise. All right. So anyway, oh no. Okay, so have you ever heard of manifesting with dark energy? Instead of asking the universe, you become the universe. Dark. So the way it's stated concerns me, just because generally light and dark is usually very comfortable words for the two sides that use them. I thought Star Wars was one of the best analogies for the whole concept, frankly, Jedi versus dark Sith or whatever the hell they call them. And all that is like, I don't know, right? I mean, hell. Come on now. But it's the same concept. Is there's this light and dark, and there really is. And I've talked about service to self, service to others. There is a light dark component to life, and hey, to each his own, is what I frequently say. Now, the darker path usually involves a lot more of trying to affect others, trying to alter others and things around you, than so much how can I be of a benefit to those around me. That's the thinking process difference in my mind. And again, to each his own. I'm of the how can I help others? That's why I'm here. But for those that are more, and there's a lot of people are saying like, oh, everyone's a narcissist right now. There's a shift, there's a bipolarity where like things are kind of splitting a little. I'm so off topic, but I'm on topic. But anyway, that's what's happens when he talks to Dan live. Okay, so let's see here. You become the universe. I mean, we are the universe too. Good questions, by the way. Dan from India, are those favorites? No, don't know what that is. Hi from Dublin. Hello, Caitlin. Nice. I've seen you comment before. Stacy. Okay, I can't stay. That's not. Thanks, Stacy. Bye. Serpil, hello. Anyone got any questions? Please throw some in there. I don't know if we're going to. The Eclipse, like I said, was fantastic. For those of you that haven't thrown any questions in there, and if you don't have any, that's fine. We'll cut it short if it needs to be. But the Eclipse was a very interesting shift. Like the feelings of it, I think there was probably well over 1 million people, and the expectation or the hope was to get over 100,000. So it was pretty powerful in that regard. All right, we got Roberts throwing a question in there. Any ideas on how the blood moon affects manifestations? Now, I will say, my whole astrology background is like I studied it a little, but it wasn't something I went like barreling down the path. I learned how to kind of sort of give readings, but it was so much work. And then unless you had the software program, which at the time I didn't want to pay for. So long story short, lunar eclipses are a very unique experience. They're very powerful in manifesting in world events in our lives. Like, I mean, there's an aspect to it. Lunar is 28 days. It's impressive how it is affected, right? So yeah, there is definitely some power to that. It's more ritualistic, as it seems anyway, but there's definitely power, and there's a lot of that kind of occult stuff that happens on those kinds of holidays and all that. It's is pretty interesting how it plays out. All right, let's make sure I'm not losing anything. All right, next set we got I can't read Russian or whatever that is, or yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, you from USA. Who said that? Was that is that Hebrew? What I don't recognize I don't even recognize what it's attempting to say. All right. Oh, the anxiety with the eclipse. I will say I felt kind of an energy with it. I'd be speculating on what and why and who and how, right? Right now, frankly, I don't want to jump too soon, but yeah, no, without a doubt, good for you. You seem Caitlin Moon. I mean, you're going by that name, which is ironic. I think you're onto something. So yeah, don't keep following whatever you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, Lena, I think is how you said that, Lena. If not, hi, Dan. I have off-topic question. Can we manifest to change someone's mind, more specifically, unrequited love to mutual love? So, can we essentially force someone to feel a certain way? I mean, honestly, the simple answer is no. You can't force somebody to do anything against the law. There is a law of free will, truly, and you cannot override someone's free will. It's not allowed. It actually comes with a heavy karmic price, if even it's sort of done. And there are ways to do it. You can do it where you get their approval to do it, and that's really how it's generally done. In some way, shape, or form, you create a situation where you force them to give permission to like that you're the controller of their lives or their choices. Anyway, it's a very strange process on how people take ownership of others. But no, you really can't force people. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, uh, by continuing to work on self-love is what we always talk about, kind of radiating out a better person, a kinder person. Like all of a sudden, like, animals are like little bugs are walking across the street and you're like, he's in view, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, hello, little bug. You were trying to get across the street. Like all of a sudden you're like Cinderella with everything. Yeah, your energy will be legit too. It's not like you're faking it, but it'll be legit when you share it out to the world. Just being who you are, when you've worked on self-love, when you truly are radiating from that place, the feeling of you is very different, especially to anyone sensitive. And that reminds me of something that someone asked that question. Dan, sensitive, what's the story you wanted to mention, if that's the case? Because it is cool story, and I might get to it really here in just a second. I'm not Russian. Serbia. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I hope, I know that's probably very, very offensive, and I apologize, sir. I just don't recognize the language. Come on, I'm in America, please. But yes, no, I know that's not cool. So thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us. Anyways, I hope, yeah, I don't even, crazy place in the world right now. There's one of many, but there's a few crazy places going on right now. You're certainly in one of the hot spots. So ironically, a very spiritual person in a very dark place right now. And by the way, that's kind of how this plays out for a lot of us. United States is pretty crazy. England's pretty crazy right now. Europe's kind of going through a little bit of and there's a number of countries within that, right? With France, Germany, I don't know, the whole slew of countries in there that are all going through this experience right now. So the world's going through something. The eclipse was symbolically huge. So for any of you that are still actually here from the original conversation about the eclipse and all that, my God, like the energy, the things that happened, the amount of people that got together and sent love and light to this planet and to all of us, and to all the things that have been going on politically, I don't know, from the aristocrats all the way, like all the crazy stuff that's been going on historically on this planet for eons is getting significantly better. So Michelle Jackson, I love it. Do you think that during an eclipse, do our intentions become stronger? There probably are. Well, I'm sure there's techniques to do that. And there's, like I said, there's good magic, bad magic, good witches, bad witches, right? Like whatever. But that is very a lunar kind of very witchy kind of thing. And there's a lot of information out there if that's kind of the direction you want to go. And yes, there's a lot of cool things you can do during these intentions, rituals, a lot of symbolic gestures that actually can be very powerful in our subconscious. It's kind of how it plays out, really, because ultimately what we believe in our minds is what really is going to happen, right? What I think about, focus on, what I'm going towards, what I actually believe is going to be a reality for me. If it's something crazy, right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be able to fly. I'll just flap my arms and I'll be able to just fly. I'll be like, hi, everybody. And that's what I'm going to manifest. And no, I won't. Really, that's not going to happen, because that's crazy. Like if I can ever do that, it will never be in front of other people, right? Like that. So again, I can say whatever I want, but it's got to be something that's believable. It's got to be something that you can really hold on to. So there's a lot of that. Okay. Oh, and Lena came back in here. It's not forcing, but I mean manifesting someone to feel the same way. You can. It's attraction, the law of attraction. So, Lena, here's the way you look at it. When you make yourself vibrate at a very good place where you're a good person, you're being the best version of you, the highest, Neil Donald Walsh would say, the highest vision of the best version you ever have imagined about yourself, like the best version of you, like shooting for that. As you get to that, your energy feels so good when they see you. You're like sweet cotton candy. You're like rose petals, silky smooth. You're like the most delicious ice cream that I've ever had. Like you are the like, you know what I mean? Like that's what you feel like. So when you are vibrating at that, you attract. And by the way, not just your specific person. When you get your energy to that way, by the way, when you rock into rooms, you get attention from a lot of people. That's how you know you're really truly getting there, is you'll start getting attention from places that you're not trying to get attention from. Then you know, oh, okay, birds before land, as some say, or all that good stuff. So again, it's one of those things. Kind of keep that in mind as you work through it, because I think it'll help. Let's see. I hope I keep losing stuff where I'm at. Okay. Well, okay. If they have free will, what's the point of trying to manifest somebody? Well, if you honestly feel like you have to, control somebody, that's not cool. Unless she was responding to someone else. But yeah, you don't want to. I mean, manifesting is about attracting a life. You're on paths. They're not jumpy, the paths we're on, right? They curve, they move, they zig and they zag, but they always are always connected. Yeah. So as we grow and develop and move and make choices, our contrast, all these things, it's just an ebb and flow. So as we learn to understand that and see that, it gives us great power in trying to work through our lives. All right. Wow, we still got people on here. Okay, cool. All right. So Renan, I guess I meditated during the eclipse. Then I got good news from a job application I submitted on January 1st, though the one I meditated during the eclipse was different. Weird. Yeah, so a lot of us talk about, ultimately it's the direction you're trying to go. I will say professionally, for me, there was a lot of places where I thought I was going one way and was trying to get jobs and thought I even had guaranteed foots in the door, even on some cases. Aced the interviews, ended up to the tip top people and aced those, and still somehow like now. And yet where I ended up, when I look back on it, was like, yeah, this has led to way more things. So a lot of times I've seen our higher selves, maybe, I don't know who it is, intervene to a degree. It's coming from somewhere, but we're trying to manifest a better life, wealth, better job, all that stuff. And sometimes we think about something as an example of that, because that's how we make it real, as I was talking about earlier, in our heads. And as we make it real in our heads, it allows us to go, yeah, that's a reality I can believe in. And then what happens is you become the energy of that reality. That's what I talk about when you expand yourself out. Like when you believe something can be like a new job, and it's like, that's within reach, and I know they would hire me and I can totally do this. When you believe that is the reality you are right now, like I know I can do this right now, then you are that. And what happens is you attract that experience to you. That's what they always talk about, how you've got to be what it is beforehand. That's kind of a good example of it, where for a job, usually you're stepping up. It's a step, right? Sometimes it's not a huge giant leap, because that's beyond what we can believe. But for a lot of us, like that step, you can maybe take bigger steps. Maybe it's a double step, right? But it's still a step. And that's what it is you imagine yourself doing it. And a lot of times we get upset with it. We're like, well, I have to do it first. I have to do the job first without the pay. But the reality is, yeah, that's kind of how it works. And then you're like, I'm doing this. I'm told, why aren't I should be getting paid this. And you start vibrating at that level. And the better way to do it is to try to imagine it, right? And then start, okay, yeah, and I'm thinking that way already, and I'm being that way already. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm totally doing that now in my mind. I'm already becoming that. Then you start to attract the job that comes with that level, right? That's kind of how it really works. Frankly, love's the same way. You're always vibrating out a feeling, like how you are right now, how you are at the moment. If you're grumpy, like you don't feel good. You don't, to me, like, right? I could meet you and be like, oh, you're having a bad day. And you're like, you could be smiling at me. You'd still feel that way. And that's what a lot of people don't realize about the law of attraction. You attract what you are. What you are, you attract. Whatever you're vibrating at, you attract. And then within the realm of the capacity, right, what you focus on, you could have all sorts of little fun issues. Like they were mad at me at church today, and then I went to the convenience store and the gas station, and it's like, well, you've got your little area inside your larger world, but the larger world's always attracting your experiences. I'm so having a hard time. I'm losing people, right? That's okay. Whatever it is, what it is. Caitlin's back in there again. Hey, did you did a video with Onions before the holiday? Yeah, we that's cool. By the way, with your last name being the same, Wicca is Wicca. I think okay. She cut in the middle of that. Crazy Manifester, hey, nice to see you. You're another one that we see frequently. Do you think that living in a place of knowing and expectations we manifest easier? Yes, and that was kind of what I was talking to. That was 904, so that was pretty close to what I was talking about. Yeah, it's exactly it. And that's really what they mean by that, though. It's not just the imagining it as much. It is, but the imagining it with the, oh yeah, I can totally do this. This is believable. I know I could. If someone called me right now and said, "Hey, Dan, can you do this job today?" I'd be like, yeah, I could totally do that today. Let's do it. I mean, yeah, I'd be nervous, right? But they hang up and be like, oh my God, I'm getting a big, like, like I'm gonna be nervous, but I know I can do it, right? I know I can rise to the occasion. I'll probably be working a lot, but right. But it's that believability that has a lot to do with it. Okay, and Rainan's back in play here. Thanks, Dan. Nice to see you live again. Last time I saw you was Riyadh. Nice, cool. Now I'm back in Manila. Very cool. You're all over, man. I love it. Past energy is lingering. New person, a crazy manifester. How do I let go of past relationships? Letting go of past relationships. So, how do we stop loving someone? Can you confirm on that? Because that's actually the key question that I would ask to someone that asks me that. How can I let go of a past relationship? And the question would be, are you seeking to stop loving them? And that's where I'm hoping you're gonna type in here, crazy manifester. Lingering, yeah, I got your lingering. Come on, yes or no on the there's a lag, unfortunately, but the two ways to look at it, I guess, until I get an answer. But if you're trying to stop the love, no, I don't think it does happen. If you truly ever love someone, at least the people I've loved and lost in life, I still love them. If I bumped into them in real life, oh my God, I can't even imagine what sort of chaos that would cause in my particular life, right? Because there's just a level of love, and they were souls that I was in love with then, and I would still be now, right? Like I don't want to see them again, and so stop loving someone doesn't really happen. When it comes to moving on from someone that you've loved before, the strength to walk on is a video I did. I recommend that talked about my step in that direction once. It happens. It's I think life changing. I think it's powerful. I think it's good, and I think a lot of people can actually learn a lot walking through that path. And I really think there's a lot to be said about exploring that. I don't know. I just got confused watching the crazy manifester says I have evolved a lot. Well, I am by no means am I stating that you are not doing an awesome job, crazy manifester. You are a crazy manifester, right? I mean, come on, let's talk legit. All right, Rob K, the eclipse yesterday, I had a ringing in my ear. I have that all the time, so I don't really know what to tell you there. It could be lots of things, but it might be it. Don't get me wrong. If that never happens, good chance. So anyway, eclipse, I had a ringing in my ear and had a hard time fall asleep. I heard someone else talking about that. I did not feel very good emotionally or physically. Is this common? Barely had this before. The time zone can come into play, but you got to remember a lot of people at one moment were putting a lot of energy into this planet on this earth. Those of us that maybe have dark spots that we try to hide from people, some of these things are going to come out. And I don't mean, crazy fast, but secrets are a thing that don't benefit us for the most part when we're real and authentic in who we are. And people that are flawed, we are more like others because nobody's perfect. So it gets into that. And yeah, my goodness gracious. So that's fantastic. I love these questions. So there's a lot of interesting energies that go on with all that. Have a laugh. Wish I could sleep with all my old lovers at once. Yeah. Ah, dear penthouse. Oh man. All right, cool. Crazy manifestor's happy. Well, it doesn't look like I have a lot more questions. I'm going to give a couple more seconds for anybody that does. All of the just to circle back around, the amazing aspect of the eclipse was so cool for me, and it was, yeah, it was just what it was able to, like the feeling I had, the way the shift occurred. Something really happened that was very profound. I look forward to getting some other sources reporting in, if you will, and giving some feedback. And so I'll try to, try to do an update maybe by next weekend, even from others, and sort of just, those of you that care, I will do a little mini video on that good stuff. Okay, outside of that, I think okay, we got one last thing here, maybe. Evan, I think my SP has shown up in a big way, but is really reserved. Is this a test? My SP has shown up in a big way, but is really reserved. Is this a test? Well, I will say a lot of times, and this is what's confusing, it seems, to a lot of people. We're manifesting getting back with someone who may still be a little grumpy with us, who may still need to have a conversation with us about what happened, right? Like there may still be some unresolved issues there. So sometimes I know we're manifesting like everything's hunky dory, but there's still the process that you're going to need to walk through. Like if you've done something wrong, you're going to have to face them and be like, yeah, no, I suck and I shouldn't do that. And I won't ever do that again. And I'm wrong and I'm sorry. But I love you and blah, blah, blah. Right. Like you go through that whole experience, and that experience is very valuable. That whole walking through fire is extremely valuable. So you've got to appreciate the fact that there's a reason they're coming back. And maybe it's not all, hey, let's jump back in the sack, right? Because that's a little scary, even no matter what. Even if they got hurt, especially if you somehow hurt them emotionally, they're going to be like a timid dog who's been beaten, right? Like a little whimpery almost. Like you got to be careful. So again, you're bringing them back into your proximity so you can interact with them from a physical level, verbal, right, spiritual, mental, emotional, like all that chemistry. Give magic a chance. So when you do that, obviously it gives you a good experience there. All right, Claire Bear, I like that. Did an astral letter. Cool. I love when we talk about astral letters, and it was the full moon. It was awesome. Yeah, astral letters. Search it on my channel. It's ASTRAL, astral letter. They're awesome. I learned it from my teacher, man. I learned it back when I was younger. I don't know, 25 years ago or whatever. And yeah, about that. And powerful, powerful. First time I tried them was with my mom and me having issues, and we just were fighting every time we talk. And I don't know, like 4 of them, 5 of them, 6. I don't know how many. I just did a few, and then you read them out loud and you burn them. It's a pretty cool little experience. And literally like 30 minutes later, she calls me, and it was like a really cool conversation. It was like we're buddies all over again. So life was groovy in that regard. And that was, so there you go. That's astral letters. They're fantastic. Preeti. I work with someone named Preeti. That'd be funny if it was you. I am from India, and don't think the eclipse affected us as much as it still calculated the first time. That it was a great feeling. Well, cool. Yeah, it probably didn't affect you guys as much. It like happened over the United States, and I don't know. A lot of us have an inflated ego here in the United States, so maybe this is part of that a little bit. But there seems to be a lot going on in this country right now, and depending on who you ask, it's a little crazy. So the fact that it was over the United States is kind of actually an interesting aspect to the full moon, right? And I think the last solar eclipse was actually over the United States, or last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was. There was one that was right over the United States. So a lot of healing and change and stuff's happening over here. Had a great deal of anxiety, worry yesterday. Yeah, someone else. I've actually a few people have had anxiety. So to me, that's probably indicative of people that are receiving a larger amount of energy and energy possibly from other people. And maybe that's causing that, like, others are kind of in like, right. Like that. I don't know. It depends how the anxiety manifests. I'd have to ask specific questions, but I think it's more that sensitivity to others are connected to you at the same time. And that can be a little freaky to some. I've heard some people say, you mean there's no secrets? It's like, no, man, there's anything you think in your head is broadcast out. Anyone that's actually attuned or aware is going to pick up on it, or can anyways. So there's no secrets. It's pretty good. It's good and bad. I mean, I guess a lot of people are like, they think they can lock themselves in a closet and be safe from any energies that can pay attention. I would disagree. So Evan, thanks. I guess cool. Well, you watch me every day, righteous. I love it, buddy. And then Preeti has a question about astral letters. How many times can one write these letters, and can we include specific instances that we want to forgive? Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things I talk about with astral letters, is doing them from a number of the perspectives that you are concerned about, upset about. And a lot of the times these are places we're upset mostly, but certainly if they're places they're upset with you, then you can hit it from the, I'm sorry I caused you to feel fear. I'm sorry I caused you to feel like you were less of a man. I'm sorry I caused you to feel like you were insecure. I'm sorry I caused you to feel like you can, or I bless, release, and erase that I caused you to. I think that's actually really more how it's stated. You guys should watch the video. It's better. I mean, but that concept is built into it for sure. Good. So good on you. Good question. Yes, you can definitely do that. Cool. We're into this 30 minutes, not too terrible, but I want to thank you guys for joining us. And again, the eclipse was powerful. I looked kind of update and see what comes up over the next week, 2-3 weeks. I mean, really, it could be months out, but there's been stuff leading into it, and that's usually how it works, and stuff coming out of it. So I would figure the next 3 months are going to be, from an astrological standpoint, are going to be significant. The first 3 months leading into this have been significant. So we'll see how it plays out. I think the energy that was done during the meditation was probably enough to significantly alter the path of the people on this planet, like liberation, really, that kind of thing. Like it's an evolution, I think, actually occurred. It's pretty cool. Anyway, love you guys. You're the best. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I think you are, because otherwise how would you have found the live video? I can't imagine you just randomly would have popped into your world. That's cool if I did somehow, but click subscribe if you haven't. But yeah, if you guys like to help my channel, you can please comment, share, thumbs up, all those things make a big difference. YouTube seems to think the world of those kinds of metrics. So if you guys want to help out, you can type little like things in there and thumbs ups and all that great stuff. And that's always appreciated. Love you guys. We will do more videos soon. Comments, leave ideas for other future videos, especially on this kind of more spiritually stuff. I don't get into it as much on the law of attraction, but I think they're all heavily tied together. I wish people asked more of these questions. So thank you guys for joining as well. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll talk soon. You guys are the best. Love you all.